Hello everyone and welcome to the third episode of the Road to GT Academy 2013. As you can see by that, we're on consistency, so we're going to apply everything we've learnt from 1 and 2, and basically I'm going to show you two clips. One is of a qualifying session for a championship iRacing on the Saturday. It's in the GT5 stock factory setup, so you know you've got to really apply cornering techniques and your driver skill to get the very best times. But obviously to get the best times you're going to have consistency, so I thought I'd show you this one. Basically we're going to use braking, accelerating and all the cornering techniques, and it's all in one video. And then I've got a second clip at the end which will show you how even if you don't know the car you can still apply consistency to get better times. And then right at the end of the video we've got a similar picture to this, but it's got a challenge on it that you can use or try and achieve to really get going with sort of improving and using some of the techniques I've explained. So I'll start playing this video. I'm going to play it through. I'm not going to pause it at any point. So we're going to begin with the start of the qualifying session. As you can see, someone's already set a 1 minute 4.2. Now I'd been on this track and car combination for about 10 minutes, so I sort of got my hand on the braking points and acceleration points. So basically during this what we're going to see is sort of the consistency of braking points and some of the braking techniques every time I approach the corner. Now you'll see a few mistakes like there. You know, everyone makes mistakes. I make mistakes. Ghost is in this, he'll make mistakes in parts. Everyone makes mistakes, but the key to improving is to reduce the mistakes and be as consistent as possible. So think Fernando Alonso on the Formula 1 Championship. He's had a mediocre car at best, but he's been consistent. Same with Kimi Raikkonen, consistent. He's got a lot of points, and that meant he was fighting for the World Championship. Right, so we're approaching the first lap. I'm not going to speak for this first lap. I want you to just have a look at the braking points and acceleration points. So let's go. Right, so I'll start talking about that lap. So as you saw there's a few mistakes in there. I went wide on a few corners, and that's me sort of testing the car. Obviously I've got cold tyres as well, so that doesn't help. And I've got a 1 minute 4.4 there, so that wouldn't have even beat the 1 minute 4.2. Ghost has gone straight in with a 103.4 there. Now I want you to sort of pay attention to the best lap every now and then, and just see how that progressively goes down as well as my lap times. So as you can see, I'm taking similar lines to before. I'm still slightly wide on this corner again. Sort of similar outcome as well because of that. And you'll notice as I go through each of these laps, I've got 14 of these, you'll see how I get smoother and smoother and then start getting more precise with the braking and accelerating while still trying to push the limits. Now I'll be honest, this last corner here is very hard. It's very hard to pick a braking point. There's nothing that really jumps out at you, so it's very more judgmental, and everybody was saying that during this race and qualifying. So we're coming to the line again. A 1 minute 3.5. It's not too bad, you know. I'm only 10th behind Ghost at this point. Look at this line again. Through this corner, you'll notice I'll take. It's very hard to get the exact same line every time because it's a very fast corner. but you'll notice it's a similar line constantly, and you'll notice in that corner I'm constantly adjusting the throttle. So once again, we went wide every time here. We've got here a bit more stable this time. I've approached it slightly easier, you know. I've straightened the braking point slightly, and the car has become more stable for that corner. So now I'm thinking, right, okay, I can judge the braking a bit better. I can brake slight bit earlier, straighten the braking, and that's giving me more control of the car. So if I've got more control, I can be more consistent. So coming around again, and we're going to come to the start finish line, and let's have a look at the time. One minute 3.5 again. See, that's a very consistent time. So we're going to approach the same corner again. Notice a similar line, similar technique in the corner, and now I'm going to control the rest of the corner with the throttle only again, and I'll keep doing that lap after lap. You'll notice I'm full throttle most of the time through there. I've gone a bit wide there, which is why I came off. I've gone a bit wide now because of that. You know, I didn't get my line right for the corner. It affected the next corner. So if I'm more consistent throughout the lap, I can then keep the times as they are. But as I'm trying to improve, as this is a qualifying session and my laps are going to be pretty consistent, I have to sort of focus then on the next corner, on how I can improve that corner, because you can see improvements in corners through time reference points and things like that. Like this is a time reference point here on the right, just there, with the first light. I know that if it's not hit 54 yet, I'm on for a very low 1 minute 3. Look at that. Look at that lap time. It was exactly the same as lap number 3. That's because I tried to improve elsewhere. Notice a slight mistake there coming into this corner. But once again, same line, same throttle control to try and keep the same line. Now I should hit the line this time. As I turn in, I've made the line. I've now got a better line into the next corner, better braking, and look at that, a better turn in and better exit. And now I want to keep doing that throughout each of these laps to keep the speed up. If you keep consistency, you can try new things at each individual corner. So you do 1 minute 3.5s, and you're doing the same lap after lap after lap. Suddenly you go, right, I'll brake 5 meters later on one corner. If it works, you gain time. If it doesn't, you lose time. You've then judged whether you can improve on that corner or not just through braking. That's obviously using the braking and acceleration techniques that I've mentioned in episodes 1 and 2, and the cornering techniques in 2. So if you look at this first corner again, straight in, same line again, and then I use the throttle. I don't know if you've been noticing the apex speeds. It's about 80 miles an hour. I come onto the throttle to then sort of start maintaining an average speed through the corner. Notice I've gone a bit wide here, but I've judged it a lot better. I understand the car a bit more now, and I've gone through the corner. Notice as well how I'm getting smoother each time, because I'm understanding the car, the braking points of the car, and how it accelerates. I can get smoothness, and smoothness and control brings consistency. I've said that in previous videos. If you can predict a car and how it's going to react, you can use it and, you know, prepare for it. If you're prepared, you're not surprised, you're not going to overcorrect, and basically you've got full control of the car, and you should get that consistency. So we've got a load of 1 minute 3.5s there. We just hit a 1 minute 3.3. So we did, I think it was, we got what, lap 2, 3, 4 and 5. All 1 minute 3.5s, and we've gone to a 1 minute 3.3. Now this video, I know I've not explained too much with techniques and stuff. I wanted to show you what consistency does. Because if you notice now, I'm just trying different tweaks to braking and acceleration. It's not much, but you're seeing that the times are changing ever so slightly. I don't know if you've noticed the best laps recently. Ghost has been dropping from the 1 minute 3.4, he's dropped to a 1 minute 3.3, the 1 minute 3.1 at the moment. I'm staying on pace with him. If you notice the sector times, you know, plus 0.004 there, I believe it was. That's minute, and that's where Ghost is being consistent. He's constantly improving. I'm being consistent, I'm constantly improving. You know, the little bits of adjustments means you get improvement. Once again, 1 minute 3.309. I've improved slightly. Ghost improved slightly as well, 1 minute 3.0. Consistency is how you improve as a racer, a driver, in everything, because you can do the same thing over and over again, but then try one new thing on a lap, and that will tell you whether it's an improvement or not. Notice how stable that time I was that time through the corner. And notice each time I've come around this track, it's always been a very, very similar line, very similar braking points. Now I'll tell you a braking point up here. You'll notice the fence on the right hand side. Just here, in the middle of that, is a braking point for this car. I went a bit wide there, but I didn't get the right sort of oversteer turning I wanted. But you know, I've got to keep practicing that. So next time I get to that corner, I should improve on that. Because when I was driving at the time, I was like, right, okay, I went a bit wide there. How can I improve on that? Notice again another 1 minute 3.3. You know, very, very consistent with my lap times. That's all you have to be, consistent. I know Jan mentioned in an interview actually, the UK winner. He said that he goes on Gran Turismo and practices on there, but aims for consistency. He aims to get lap times as close as possible to each other, and the reason is if you're consistent, you can improve on it. If you're consistent, you understand the car and the aspects of how to react to predictability rather than unpredictability. Notice that time I was much better through the corner. I had an extra 2 miles an hour there as well as speed. See, the previous lap I went a bit wide, didn't I? I've gone wide here, practicing the corner. There, I think, right, okay, I've gone too fast, I've gone too deep into the corner. Don't do that again, go back to my old style of coming in wide and going through the corner. You know, it'll affect this lap and the last lap, because it's an important corner. Remember my thing about prioritisation of corners, you know. You have to have a go at that corner in the end. I've done it at this point because I've got a decent-ish lap time. I need to sort of find improvements to really try and catch Ghost. So there's the drop in time there. I've lost a tenth. I probably lost a bit more than that because I did the first sector very, very well there. Once again, look at the line. I'm going through the lines. Same as always. Each lap, lap after lap after lap, it's the same line. Coming up to the same braking point. Notice again, I'm staying around 80 miles an hour. Slightly clip the barrier there, but it's expected on the city track. And this time, I learnt from my mistake. Don't do that again. You know, try a different line, try a different braking approach. Still ran a bit wide, but that's because I'm still trying new things. And a 1 minute 3.4. Notice most of my lap times are 1 minute 3.5 to 1 minute 3.3 at the moment for me trying new things. So once again, similar line, around 80 miles an hour. I'm using the throttle again to get round the corner, try and judge my acceleration, and then I'm accelerating fully through here, and then braking again. Notice I'm up on the time. I'm thinking, right, excellent. Got 0.08 to play with here. I can really start to push myself. Similar line again. You know, I've done this line constantly, lap after lap after lap. So we'll go through here. We'll just see what the lap time is. Still up, 0.053. At this point, I've just nailed this corner there. I'm thinking, right, I'm on a good lap here. I'm on a really good lap. Brake for this. I slightly get it a bit wrong. I slightly missed the apex there, but I'm accelerating. Notice the time reference point. Didn't hit 54. I know I'm on for a very low 1 minute 3, but look what Ghost just did, a 1 minute 2.9. But I shouldn't be disheartened. Ghost is a very fast driver. 1 minute 3.1. You know, my stability of learning the reference points, like getting used to the car, the way it's reacting. My smoothness has improved since lap 1. You know, my controllability has improved, and I will show you the first lap again. We'll do that after the end of this lap. We'll just see what this lap brings. I'm not too sure what it will bring. So notice the same line again. Slightly lost a bit of time in that second sector there. Trying to keep a bit more speed up, which I did there. You know, you're just playing with little bits of mile an hour, little bits of precision. I know somebody who I have on Facebook who mentioned it, who mentioned in a comment that he realised that the good drivers and the great drivers, the only difference really is the precision of braking and accelerating. You know, he sort of realised that, you know, the tiniest percentage of difference can actually mean a lot of time. You think about it, you gain 1/100th on every corner on, say, this track. I don't know, is it 10 corners, 12 corners, something like that, whatever it is. That's a tenth. Now in GT Academy, a tenth is huge, huge, huge time. That could mean going to the national finals or not. But those little tiny little bits of improvement get you the lap time. But you can only know if you're going to improve through consistency. But once you learn something new, a new line, or you know, a way to brake or accelerate through a corner, use it, because that is going to give you a lap time. So we'll finish this lap, and I'm going to go back to lap 1. Now you've seen all these laps now. That's another 0.1. We're going to go back to lap 1. Just after that one. Sorry, I'm just going to try and find it. So we'll go from here. So this is my first lap, remember. And look at the difference now. You'll see it's a bit more rough compared to the last laps where I was getting 1 minute 3.1s. You'll see how much rougher it is. Notice I've gone a bit more wider there. Look at the braking, I've got a bit too much oversteer. That's forced me to go wide with an overcorrection. We'll have a look at the braking point. I've gone broke well too late there. I broke near the end of the fence. Notice my speed is all wrong through that apex, and that's the sort of thing I sort of want to try and point out with this. You know, you get your consistency, and then from consistency you can then apply different things to different corners, see improvements, see if it doesn't improve your time, see if it affects another corner. You can do that through sector times, and through consistency you can then improve your time. It's all about consistency. Imagine Vettel, if he went out, did one quick lap and the rest were rubbish. He wouldn't have won the world title doing that. He's consistently quick in qualifying. You know, each section of qualifying in F1, he's quick. If he wasn't consistent or consistently quick, he wouldn't get pole positions all the time. He wouldn't be able to set up the car properly, because he would then miss different braking points at different times, and then wouldn't understand the car, wouldn't understand how the setup changes are actually affecting the car properly, and that's the thing. And notice this lap was a bit rough as well, and this is the 1 minute 3.5. So I'll fast forward it now in a second. I'll just show you that it is the 1 minute 3.5. And there we go. I'm going to fast forward this on a tad. And we're going to go to, you probably just saw a quick clip of that actually, and there we go. So this is a shuffle race. As you can see, on my lap 2, 3 and 4, I've got a 114.4, a 114.0, a 114.0. Now this was quite a while ago. This is a shuffle race, so I've not really driven this car much. You know, I've had about 2 minutes practice before the race. And once again, it's just consistency and improving. So I'm going to play this through, and you can have a look at the braking points again. You can have a look at the braking techniques. You know, this car's got quite a bit of grip. It's 4-wheel drive. It's a Lancer, Mitsubishi Lancer Evo. I'm not sure whether it's a rally car or not. I think it might be the Tommy Mackinnon Special, if anyone wanted to know that. But you can see how all the techniques I've mentioned in episode 1 and 2 I apply here. You know, I'm using throttle control to get around corners, I'm using the braking to get around corners, using trail braking, you know, if there's an anchor point there I'll use it, and things like that. And you know, if I use an anchor point once and I think, wow, it's a good time, I'll use it again. You know, I aim for that anchor point. You know, these braking boards there, you know, they have them in F1. They're there. They help the driver, and with that they can get consistency. They think, right, I brake at 70 meters. I'll always brake at 70 meters. I'll always brake with the same amount of power at 70 meters, and you know, that percentage will always stay the same each lap. You know, the car will react exactly the same every lap, or it should do, minus the tyre grip or whatever else, the tiny little things. But if that stays as constant as possible, you know, you feel safe, you feel confident in the car, in what's going to happen, and you should improve your lap times. As you saw there, I've just gone to a 1:13.9. We've got the end of this lap and the end of the next lap. So I mentioned, I'll let this play through, and I've mentioned the challenge that that's at the end of the video, and basically I would challenge anybody who watches this to go to any track in any car and just put in a few laps initially. You know, get used to the car, get used to the feel. But I challenge you to get 5 laps, 5 consecutive laps that is, all within 5/10 of each other. Now that sounds like a huge gap, but for some cars that's quite difficult, for some cars that's very easy. You do it with any settings you want. You know, you can put skid recovery force on if you want, you can put racing soft tyres on if you want, you can do whatever you want to get to do that challenge. 5 consecutive laps within 5/10 of each other. And feel free to send me replays. I don't mind, send me replays. I'll post them up. You know, post comments about how you've done. Show me how you know you've been consistent with that. And when you've been consistent with that, those 5 laps within 5/10 of each other, I believe that you may realise that you know, consistency is the key. You know, I may know all these techniques, but I'm only good with these techniques or get good times because I'm consistent with them. You know, if I wasn't consistent with them, I might know them, but if I'm not consistent, I'm not going to be any good with them. So that's the end of this shuffle race. So we've got a 13.8, and we'll just see this final time, a 13.8 dead. And that's what I really wanted to show with this. So yeah, and there we go, we've just got that little thumbnail at the end. So that's the challenge, the first challenge that I issue to anybody who wants to do it. Feel free to send me replays. Best bet is just to message me for an email address and I'll give it you, rather than spam it out over the internet and suddenly I get 500 spam emails, dodgy emails and viruses and whatever else. So 5 consecutive laps within 5/10 of each other, and I would say that would be key for a first challenge. It doesn't matter how fast you go, it doesn't matter how, you know, if you're lightning fast or if you're slow. If you do that constantly at 70 miles an hour around a track, and you can do that for 5 laps, that's good, because then you can build on that. That's what I'm trying to point out with this episode. That's been a short episode. Hopefully you've enjoyed that, and I'll see you guys with the next one, and good luck with the challenge.